Hi everyone, I thought I'd make another wee video for you. I'm sorry it's been so long since my last one. I've just been trying to get some work done of my own here, some oil paintings, and it's always a bit sort of off-putting when you change your environment. It takes a wee while to get back into the swing of things. So um, I've sort of had a few failures and one possible success, but that's a different story. So I thought today I would do a wee watercolour study for you. Just a demonstration, really. You're welcome to have a go if you've got watercolour paints and some watercolour paper. So I've just taped this down with washi tape, which is the type that peels off again at the end without ripping the paper, hopefully. And I'm going to try and do a scene of Aaron. So I'm going to start by wetting the paper just down to the horizon line. Should never be exactly halfway because it just doesn't always look right. So either you do it above halfway, so you've got a smaller sky and more of the sea, or you do it below halfway. So I'm going to do it just below today because I'm going to try and do a nice sunset. So I'm just wetting my brush, and in fact you don't have to be too careful here. You're just going to wet the paper all the way down to roughly 2/3 of the way down. I think I went down a bit low there actually, but not to worry. So I'm getting it nice and wet. There we go. We don't want puddles of water on it, but we want the water to be absorbing in but not sitting on the top exactly. And then we need to decide on our colours. So I think what I'm going to do is a sort of a dark blue at the top. So I've loaded my brush with some dark blue, and because the paper's wet, when you put this on, it's going to do wonderful things, hopefully. So we'll just move our brush along like this. A bit more water if you like. You can soften. Just like this. I think we'll add a bit of pinky colour, so that would be red. And when we add it here, you see it mixes in with the blue to create a lovely purpley pinky colour. We'll touch up here as well. So we've just used a dark blue and a red so far. It's a long time since I've done a watercolour actually, so I might be a bit rusty, but hopefully not too bad. We'll do a little bit of just red on its own over this side, and I think yellow would be nice, a bit of yellow in here. So get some yellow on the brush, and we'll have some yellow peeping through here and at the bottom. And that's roughly about right, I think. What you can do if you want to bring out some more light is, while it's still wet, dry your brush off. I'm just drying it on my trousers. And with a dry brush you can go in and lift out, and you get some more white highlights showing like this. I think wonder if I'd ruin it if I put some actual purple. I've got purple here on my palette, which is quite a strong colour, so it might be a bit risky, but we'll give it a go. Just maybe at the underside of the clouds. Yeah. Don't know. I think I might have added too many colours, but put a bit more red here. Oh my goodness. Oh, yes, I'm rusty, aren't I? There we are. Just add more water, move it all around a bit. As you can see, it just does what it wants to do. You're not totally in control with watercolours, which is one of the great things about them, actually. So you can just keep adding. There we go. Another technique which is quite I use quite a lot is to get a bit of kitchen towel. I don't have kitchen towel, I've got toilet paper, and you scrunch it up and you can lift out again. This gives a really nice cloud effect. I use this quite often, actually. You can change the way you scrunch it up so that the patterns aren't all regular, you know, they're all a bit different. Yeah, I quite like that effect. It breaks it up a little bit. So there we go. If I wasn't working on this big board as well, something else I would do would be to lift the whole thing and let the paints run down, and that gives a really nice effect. Yeah, so we'll let that dry. In fact, quite often what you can do is get your hairdryer and dry it off. It makes it a lot quicker. What I'll do though is I'll just start working on the sea while that's drying. I'm going to do Aaron, I think, along here. The sea, I think I'm going to use the dark blue again that I had in the sky. In fact, I'm going to drop a bit more. Drop in some of that lovely deep colour. There. Makes it look a bit more atmospheric. Lovely colour, that. Right. Okay, so we've got our dark blue and we've got our brush, not too wet, just got the paint on it. There's no water on this part of the page. And I'm going to try and use a bit of a what you call dry brush technique. So you just brush your brush along like that from one side, then from the other side. As you can see, where the brush is quite dry and the white paper's shining through, it looks like the light shining on the sea. So it's quite a nice effect. Do one side and then the other side. So the middle bit's got more light reflecting than the rest. There we go. Maybe do a little bit of the purple, or I'll do the red actually, a bit of the red. And then remember, it'll mix. So I was going to use yellow, and I thought if I use yellow, that'll mix with the blue, and then it will be green, and it'll look more like maybe a field rather than the grass. So I'm using red because if it mixes with the blue, hopefully it'll just be a nice purple. There we go. That's quite a nice colour. Put more up here. There we go. It's alright, isn't it? Now I'm going to get my hairdryer actually to dry the whole lot so that we can go in with the island. If we tried to paint the island now, it would just all spread, you know, because it's not dry. So we'll need it to be dry, and we also might put some rocks and things in the foreground. But this base coat, this wash needs to be dry first. So I'll just get the hairdryer. This is the beauty of doing it in your bedroom. Everything's here. Okay, excuse me for 2 minutes. Okay, that's probably enough. It's not totally dry, but the areas that we're going to be working on here is dry, and down here is semi-dry. So what you'll notice is the paper has buckled and warped a bit. The tape's come away here, so it doesn't always work. This probably isn't the best quality tape to do it, to be honest. I've smudged it. The tape is supposed to help keep it flat. But it's not. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. This is only a very small painting, so it'll be fine. When you're working on bigger sheets of paper, it can go really wobbly. So, okay, so we're going to do Aaron. And I think we're going to do Aaron with a sort of purpley. So I think I'm going to mix on the palette some blue and some of the red. Bit more. Yeah, I think that's quite a nice colour. I've got a picture next to me here, which is another painting that I've done in the past. So I'm going to refer to that for the shape of Aaron. Okay, so we start off low. Up here. Probably not the most accurate, to be honest, but still recognisable. And you have to mix this in quite quickly, because if you let that dry in, you'll end up being able to see the lines. So we finish this off quite quickly. That looks quite nice. There we are. And this is the good bit. I enjoy this. See how the colours already are going into darker areas, lighter areas. You can see the yellow from underneath coming through, which is really nice. I didn't plan that. That's just happened. Another of the great things that I love about watercolours, happy little accidents like that. I think what I'm going to do is make the peaks, just drop in a bit more watercolour paint into some areas, just to give a little bit of an impression it's not just a flat area. Yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it? And I think I'll use just the same colour, the purple, red and the blue. I'll make it a bit stronger. I'm going to do the foreground now. I'm going to do some rocks and things that are in the foreground closer to you are usually sharper and darker colour, basically. The further away you get, the more muted colours normally get. And atmospheric conditions can make things vary, but that's the general rule. So I'm going to do just coming in from the side like this, some rocks, just a straight line underneath at the bottom, and then just like that. Same here and here. Reload the brush and coming in on the other side, trying to make it not too regular, not the same both sides, because it wouldn't look natural then. Just like that. There we are. It's quite rough. I'm definitely a rough painter. I'm not somebody that's, I mean, I really admire people that spend a long time on detail. I think they're amazing, but for me, I've tried it, it's just not my way. I prefer to be quite free and loose, if you know what I mean. There we go, just a wee post coming up there and just add a bit of more detail there. And I think, probably shouldn't have done that. That's fine. I think that's probably it. You can go in with a little tiny brush or a pen and do some birds. I might just try and do it with the very tip of this. Hope I don't totally mess this up, but here goes. Let's give it a try. Yeah, probably should have waited. It's just a demonstration. It's not a finished masterpiece or anything. There. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I'll try and come up with something else later. I might actually go back in and darken some of the sky now I'm looking at it again. But, you know, you don't have to watch me do that if you don't want to. Yeah, I'm going to try and do a couple of other videos again this week. Get back into the swing of it. A couple of how-to style ones, maybe. Somebody asked me to do a penguin, so I'll probably try and do that. So yeah, keep safe and try and keep busy. And I will speak to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.